This is Cho and Mai from Vietnam. Our team's short film is titled Overconsumption in Fashion. Do you get involved?
Our short film discusses about overconsumption in the fashion industry, focusing on its impact on our environment and providing applicable solutions for people in dealing with their old clothes.
When we buy an item of clothing or garment, we don't often think much about it and take it very lightly. However, we want to bring you a bigger picture of how this ignorance plays out on a global scale. By conveying the perspective of many audiences, we provide both logical and emotional appeals in quality of an educational documentary.
There are successes and achievements that we are grateful for, but there are also challenges that we want to discuss in our journey. Due to the severity of COVID-19, we had many delays and eventually started quite late compared to other teams.
In order for the filming process to go smoothly, we had to come up with a very detailed plan, which include our script and storyboard. Moreover, our knowledge of editing techniques was still very limited.
After collecting worn-out clothes, we also had to categorize them after filming, which took a lot of time. Finding organizations like Reshare was difficult because of its new model for recycling and processing used clothes in Vietnam. On the bright side, we've improved our critical thinking as well as communication, problem-solving, and technology skills after our experience with filmmaking.
Throughout the documentary, we had applied many techniques such as the J-cut, the L-cut, as well as match cut with the help of a mentor and media teacher. Being able to apply those new knowledge directly into our film was such a great experience that we're truly thankful for.
Our priority for improvement is definitely time management. Although we know that time is limited, we weren't using it efficiently. We realized that time is a budget that should not be spent mindlessly, and setting priorities was key.
For our future work, we are thinking about doing a detailed video or documentary about Reshare. If we had the chance, this program is very new to Vietnamese people, and it's certainly something that should be embraced.
They apply science and technology to their work, allowing them to handle textiles smartly and innovatively while helping out others by selling clothes at very reasonable prices, and we are very proud to be working with them and learning about their procedures behind recycling used clothes.
Overconsumption in fashion has recently been over-romanticized and highly praised. However, we don't believe that is how fashion is supposed to be perceived. Fashion does not include the destruction of habitats and homes to many animals and people.
We are proud to present about overconsumption, which has been discussed more than ever before in the 21st century. Genius Olympiad has given us the chance to carry out our ideas and express our creativity. Being able to spread awareness helps us understand the world's environmental problems. Finally, we just have a question for you. Overconsumption in fashion. Do you get involved? Thank you.
Here are the clothes that I usually wear, and here's what I actually have.
Influencers and the attraction towards aesthetics are motivating people to overconsume clothing that they would not wear. Moreover, during the COVID lockdowns in many countries, as people all stayed home, many decided to use online shopping as a coping mechanism or a way to kill time. Specifically, over the course of 2 years, an extra $218.53 billion was added to e-commerce in the USA alone due to people being at home. Another factor contributing to the overconsumption of advertisement and marketing, it is oftentimes overlooked how this industry affects consumers on a subliminal level. The methods used in marketing and ads have become more progressive and up-to-date with the modern society today, which focuses on influencing how people perceive their consumption in fashion, changing their mindset and habitual thinking.
Probably go shopping maybe once or twice every year. Very simplistic. Like I don't buy a lot, especially clothing. Look at me. And so as long as I don't have like holes in my clothes and I don't look like if I look alright, I use the clothes that I buy, for sure.
According to a research conducted by the Common Objective Project, it is estimated that around the world, about 107 billion units of clothing and 14.5 billion of pairs of shoes were purchased in 2016, and these numbers are still growing rapidly and fastly.
Maybe the time it's designed and then cut, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. I guess it depends who's making it as well, because it's like brands that are globalized. For example, H&M and stuff like that. I guess it's made quite fast.
On average, an item of clothing is only worn 7 times before being tossed away, or in many places, the number is only 3. This number is the least recorded and is still going on a downward spiral. As stated above, people are being urged to buy more clothes as this is a way of showing status and one's ability to take care of themselves. As a consequence, more and more clothes are being produced, and at the same time, more of them are being disposed of or are just neglected and left unworn. Although we think that after donating our no longer worn clothing to charities, those garments go to ones who are in need, this is not necessarily always the case. In an article published on Global Fashion Agenda, 73% of the world's clothing ended up in landfills, and by 2030, this number is believed to go up to 81%. Do you know how much time does it take for this to decompose?
4 years?
400 years.
400 years?
400.
Wow.
Coming to our next point, specifically, how does overconsumption in fashion directly affect our environment? According to the law of supply and demand economy, as the demand grows, the supply grows and vice versa. As people consume more clothes, factories and companies try to cut ages to produce clothes at a hectic pace. The Fashion Charter reported that the fashion industry contributes up to 8% of our world's carbon emission, and in 2050, this number can be increased to a quarter of the total world's carbon emissions.
Toxic wastes are dumped from factories containing harmful substances like lead and arsenic. This damages the aquatic environment and the health of organisms and human beings. It is reported that 20% of industrial water pollution comes from textiles treatment and dye. Our final question is, what to be done? First, be conscious as a consumer. We as human beings are responsible for the damages that we've done to our planet. Whenever you look at your closet, be mindful of the quantity and care more for quality. Start reorganizing your clothes and dividing them into categories. To be sustainable, we also need a system that arranges our cluttered clothing lifestyles. Donations are also a sustainable way to reduce the consumption of clothing and help communities that need clothes.
In Ho Chi Minh City, Reshare is one of the pioneers extending a life cycle of garments and clothes. They do not just resell worn clothes at a reasonable price range or even for free, but also apply the most up-to-date technology to handle textiles. Here, these clothes are highly appreciated and well cared for, as if they were brand new clothes. They also cooperate with Siemens factory to use fabrics as fuels. Additionally, they are also working on finding more sustainable ways to utilize used textiles. Rewearing your clothes is also a method that channels the purpose of sustainability. Rewearing means that you are able to accept the fact that the clothes you wear are created as long-term garments. You can't resist the boredom for rewearing, but it's needed and it's reasonable enough to save our ecosystems.
Sustainability shouldn't be a trend or an aesthetic. It is an important thing that every individual and community should keep in mind, a concept that one needs to incorporate into their everyday life.
By taking very small actions every day, you're contributing to the preservation of planet Earth as well as inspiring others to also take actions. Be conscious and aware, woke and responsible. Thank you.